There we go. Had to get my mic. Had to get my mic going, friends. Let me make sure. There we go. Uh-oh. Okay. Good. Got that. All right, y'all. I am back. 3 days in a row. Can you believe it? Trying to be the example of consistency, I suppose. But I have a lot of topics that I wanted to get out. So I was like, you know what? Just do it. Just go for it. And everything don't have to always be so scheduled and perfect and, you know, this and that. So today we are talking about, or we're doing a Q&A. Today is going to be a live Q&A. I have some questions already, and these are questions that I get asked a lot in the comments of videos, in uh, emails, direct messages, just a few things that I think are common questions that people have. So I'm going to start with some questions and provide the answer. And then if you're here and you have a question for me, you can ask. Okay. Just trying to make sure I got all my stuff set up. Because I wasn't as prepared today as I've been the last few days. I was trying to feed my face, y'all. Trying to eat. I was trying to eat before I got on here. So I had me a little burrito bowl. All right. Let me make sure I got my questions ready. Yeah, so I got about 10 questions that I'm going to answer during the live. But again, if you have some questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. Okay. All right. And also during this live, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the 180 method. I'm going to incorporate some of that in today's live. So here we go. And also, if you're new here, if it's your first time seeing me, my name is Kendra. I'm the founder of 180 Hair and creator of the 180 Method. So what I do is specialize in holistic hair health, specifically for women over the age of 40 that want to regrow and restore their hair using holistic solutions. Okay. And what is a holistic solution? That means we look specifically at your mindset, your habits, and your nutrition as it pertains to hair health and hair growth. Okay. Because we know that after a certain age, our hair starts to lose density. It starts to lose fullness. It starts, shedding more than normal. It gets thinner. We have more issues with hormonal changes and lifestyle changes, and all of these things, our nutrition and dietary needs change. So because of that, that also affects our hair. So instead of just pushing women to purchase a product, buy a product, I want us to start to look deeper for solutions. Okay. Now, again, like I said, today we are doing a live Q&A. We did a live yesterday and the day prior. You can always go back and watch those. Okay. And again, if you have questions, just put them in the chat. Okay. So the questions that I have, I'm going to pop them into the video. I'm going to try something different today. We're going to see if this works. We're going to see if this works, girl. Oh, it's already on there. Okay. All right. So we can see that. Let's see. It may take a minute to show up on screen because there is a delay. YouTube does have a delay, so sometimes it doesn't show up right when I put it up on screen, but you should be able to see. There we go. Okay, I see it. Okay, so the first question, or one of the questions that I get asked quite a bit, is how do I know if I'm doing everything right and my hair still won't grow? Okay, so there's a few ways to answer this question, but I will try to answer it in as a general, give it as a general answer as possible, because of course it's going to depend on a lot of things. But doing everything right doesn't matter if it's not the right thing for your hair. Okay, so people think they're doing everything right, but the question is, well, what is the right thing for your hair? Okay, doing everything right is not necessarily going to be the same for me as it is for the next person. So the first thing is, if goal is your growth, you need to understand that growth is not a goal. Hair growth is not a goal, because your hair is always growing. People say my hair won't grow. I have to correct them. Your hair is always growing. 90% of the time, you don't have a hair growth issue. You have a length retention issue. Okay, so even if you understand that, I get that people still want to see the growth. That's the thing. You want to see that your hair has grown, okay? And growth needs alignment. So that's where we talk about your mindset, your habits, and your nutrition, because there's something that's happening that is causing your hair not to grow through the complete growth phase, okay? Because remember, during the growth cycle, your hair goes through several phases. Your growth phase is 2 to 7 years long, all right? The only thing that would stop you from seeing length is things like your diet, your nutrition, bad hair care habits. If there's stress or anything that's going on in your life that could be causing your strands to grow out brittle or fragile or things like that. So remember, hair health, or hair, if your hair is not growing, if it looks like your hair isn't growing, that is a symptom. It's not a problem. So we just have to start looking deeper at some of the things that may be going on beneath the surface that could be causing you not to retain length. Okay. Hey, Miss Wilma, you say you're out running errands. Yes, yes. Okay. Thank you for popping in, though. I appreciate it. Yes, if you're here, please like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. If you are not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that. If not, at least hit the like button. Okay, that way we can get this video or these lives out to more people. And those of you that have just joined, we are doing a live Q&A. If you have a question about hair health, hair growth, anything related to that, you can put it in the chat. But I do have some questions that I'm going to pop into the video, and these are questions that I get asked a lot. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're doing a Q&A. Any questions that you have about hair health, you can go ahead and put those below. But yeah, so to answer this first question, how do I know if I'm doing everything right and my hair still won't grow? It isn't that your hair isn't growing, it's that you're just not retaining the length. So we would need to look at specific things in your mindset and your daily habits and your lifestyle and your nutrition, your health, all of those things could be causing you not to retain length. All right. Okay, putting up the next question. Let's see, I may have to. All right. Next question is, what if I've tried everything? I've tried products, I've tried oils, I've even gone natural, but nothing is working. Okay. I want you to remember, this is what I talked about the last 2 days. Products are not the main character in the story of your hair health. Products are like the supporting actors. They play a supporting role. You do not totally depend on products to change the health of your hair, especially if you are dealing with issues that are outside of normal things, right? So products are tools, okay? They are not magic. If the foundation of your hair, which is your scalp, isn't strong, then the products are only going to provide temporary solutions or be like temporary solutions. Okay. And then people have talked about going natural. So we think that going natural is going to always or 100% guarantee that we don't have any hair issues. But even going natural, you have to have a routine that supports your hair density, your hair type, your curl pattern, all of these things, like your porosity specifically. You have to know what your hair requires. Doesn't matter if you go natural, because every natural has a different texture, a different density, a different hair type, different scalp health. So all of these things matter, again, especially if you're someone that is dealing with hair issues or hair loss. So again, using products, you have to know, are you using the right products for your specific hair, for your specific hair type? Are you using the right shampoo based on your scalp or what what's going on with your scalp? So there's a lot of things that need to be considered when using products and oil. Sometimes we over oil our hair and scalp when it doesn't even really need oil. Okay. Or we over oil our hair and scalp and put way too many products and then don't properly cleanse our hair and scalp once we use those things. So then we're stuck with hair strands or cuticles that are suffocated, or a scalp that's not properly clean. So the follicle is not producing, or the hair is not properly growing through the follicle because it's clogged. And then you end up with scalp irritation. So there is, again, a lot of things that need to be considered, or specific things. I'm not going to say a lot. There's specific things that need to be considered when choosing your products, when choosing your oils, when deciding how often to use the products and oils, and all of those things. Okay. So again, the 180 method, it helps you to understand things about your hair. That's part of the mindset. Okay. Part of the mindset is the education, understanding what your hair requires. And before you can understand what it requires, you have to know your hair. You have to understand your hair specifically. Okay. All right. That was the second question. And I didn't put the numbers on here. Next question. This is question number 3. Okay. So again, if you're just now joining, we are doing a live Q&A. I'm popping a few questions inside of the video here. These are popular questions that I get asked quite often. So I wanted to do a Q&A to address some of these. And then also, if you have questions while you're here, you can put them in the chat. Okay. Next question is, how long does it take to see results once I start focusing on the 180 method? So I've received this question regarding the 180 method, but also the products. Okay. So those of you that don't know, I do make all natural products. Let me see if I can hop over to, and this gnat, I keep doing this because there's gnats, or there's a gnat flying around. And it's getting on my nerves. Okay, so let me pop over onto, let me see if I can, hold on. See if I pop onto that. That means I would have to, there we go. See, I'm kind of smart. So those of you that don't know, I do have an entire, have a website, and I'm going to change that picture. I thought I liked that, but I've realized that I don't. So hair and scalp care. So all of the products that we have here on 180hair.com are all natural. So we have the balm hair and scalp treatment. We have the liquid version of the balm. We have the spray and go conditioning mist. So this is great for all hair types, especially if your hair is dry. We have the scalp oil. So if you have a scalp that's itchy and irritated, this is going to be a good option for you. Also, if you are wearing protective styles, this is also a good option. The hair serum, this is just something that's really good to use on your ends. The moisture cream, and then this is a skincare item. One skincare item that I make seasonally. So we are almost out of stock of those. But so just FYI, there are products available from the 180 collection. Now, the reason I brought that up is because, like I was saying, people ask, well, how long does it take to see results from the products? How long does it take to see results from your method? Okay. And everyone's timeline is different. Okay. So your scalp and strands need time to repair. Okay. My timeline to see results versus someone else's is going to be different because we all start in a different place. Everyone starts their hair health journey or their hair growth journey from a different place. We're all not starting at the same point of the starting line. All right. I tell people to focus on progress over perfection. Okay. Instead of focusing on seeing the results so quickly, focus on making sure you are staying consistent. Okay, so as far as a timeline for the 180 method, I typically say 3 to 6 months, and that's 3 to 6 months of consistency. Some people are going to be a little bit less because, again, we're not all starting from the same place. Okay, if it took months or years for your hair to be in the condition that it's in to need repair, then give yourself some grace. It's going to take time to reverse the effects of whatever it is that your hair is going through, but it isn't impossible. It doesn't mean that you can't do it. I just want you to focus on making progress, not so much on the timeline. How long is it going to take? Same with my products. People ask about the hair and scalp treatment, excuse me, specifically if they're using it for their edges or if they have bald spots. Now I have women that have seen results from those products in like 3 weeks. Okay. I've had women that have seen results from the products in up to 3 months. There is no hard and fast rule when it comes to how long is it going to take. Okay. Because one, you have to be using it consistently, right? And then two, it depends on the condition that your hair and scalp is in when you start using the products. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going to move on to the next question. Question number 4. And again, if you have any questions, you can pop them in the chat. I see you come, Miss Wilma says out at Walgreens, pop in and out while I'm out and about. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. Okay, so the next question is, what is the difference between hair breakage and shedding, and how do I know which one I'm dealing with? Okay, this is a great question because we see hair in the sink or on our brush or in the shower or on our pillow, and first thing we assume my hair is falling out. Okay, shedding is natural, is normal. All your hair sheds. Shedding is part of the hair growth cycle. It goes through a shedding phase that lasts for a couple of weeks up to a month. Okay. Now, shedding is going to be when the hair detaches from the root. So it'll be the full length of your strand. It doesn't matter if your strands are this long or this long. Shedding is going to be the full length of the strand. Breakage is normally due to weakness or malnutrition, weakness, or dryness. Okay. It will break not from the root, but it will snap anywhere along the hair shaft. So whether that's at the end, in the middle, or closer to the top, but there will be breakage and there will be no root attached. The root is like the little white bulb that you see sometimes at the end of your hair. Okay. Breakage is often a sign, like I said, of dryness, protein imbalance, dryness, rough handling your hair too roughly, trying to detangle while it's wet, with not doing it properly, things like that. Okay. Again, shedding is normal. Shedding is normal, but also it can be hormonal. Okay. So you could see increased shedding due to hormonal issues, nutritional issues, or stress related issues. Okay. Shed, like I said, the shedding is natural. Your hair naturally sheds 50 to 100 strands per day. So you're going to see shedding every day, right? But if you're seeing more than that, if it looks like it's more than 50 to 100 hairs, there could be other things at play. Again, hormonal imbalance, nutritional imbalance, stress related stuff. All of these things can take a toll on the amount of shedding that you see. Okay. All right. So popping in the next question. Question number 5. Make that a little bit bigger. Okay, next question is, do protective styles help or hurt my progress? Do protective styles help or hurt my progress? Listen, I love a good protective style, okay? But the problem that I see is we mistake some protective styles that are actually destructive, okay? They are not protecting anything. A protective style is only protective depending on how you use it, how often you wear it. If you are protecting your hair underneath it or in between it or in your, your scalp, if you're wearing a protective style, that doesn't mean that you should not be also doing something to your hair while it's in that protective style. Protective style is not an excuse to not do anything to your hair. Whether the protective style is just your natural hair only, or if you have hair added, or if you're wearing something on top, you still have to maintain some type of scalp care and moisture routine. You will need to keep your scalp clean and hydrated, and you will need to keep your hair clean, hydrated, and moisturized. Okay. When you don't do those things, it really becomes less of a protective style and more of, now I got to do more maintenance once I take this hairstyle down. Okay. Also, styles that are too tight. Of course, we know that anything that's pulling or causing significant stress on the scalp, specifically your edges, but any part of the hair for that matter, but specifically the edges, because that is where your hair is most fragile, is not a protective style. Okay. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it, but protective styles can help your progress if you are still doing some type of maintenance to your hair and or scalp during the protective style. So if it's braids, you will need to be spraying your scalp with some type of hydration every day. You can oil your scalp. I don't recommend oiling your scalp every day unless you are cleansing your scalp at least once a week, because what happens is you're just oiling, putting more oil on top of dead skin cells, dirt, debris, you're just clogging your follicles. Okay. So you definitely want to make sure you have some type of cleaning routine if you're using a lot of oils. Okay. What else? Let me see if there was another question. Okay, yeah, so make sure you have some type of scalp or moisture routine. Okay. Okay, Miss Wilma, how long did you? Okay, let's pop that one in. So Miss Wilma asked a question here. Let's see, does that show up? Yes. Okay, so how long should you leave your protective style in? Now, I tell most people the sweet spot is going to be 4 to 6 weeks. Try not to extend beyond 6 weeks, but of course, that is going to depend on your situation. I understand things happen. I've talked to women like, look, I paid a lot of money for this hairstyle. I'm leaving it in. beyond 6 weeks. Okay. And again, just understand the risks of doing that. But also, if you leave it in beyond that, you better have a damn good moisture routine for your hair if you're leaving in a protective style beyond 6 to 8 weeks. Okay. Um, Again, it's about maintenance, not just duration. So you can leave the style in longer as long as you are doing the maintenance. Okay, cleansing your scalp, moisturizing your real hair underneath the style. You can't just wear the style and hope for the best and think that because you got braids in that you don't have to do anything. You still do. Okay. If you're seeing things like if you're experiencing a lot of scalp itching and tenderness, which I know that if we add hair to the protective style, sometimes that hair can cause irritation. If you're experiencing excess buildup of your scalp, your hair starts getting frizzy or starts to mat, your hair is shedding more than usual, then you want to take it out. Don't leave the style in if you notice that your hair is suffering. You need to take it down, take it out, deep condition your hair. All right. Don't confuse low maintenance with no maintenance. Protective style is low maintenance, yes, but it doesn't mean no maintenance. You still need to be doing something to it. They are a tool, not a solution. Okay. I hope that answers your question, Miss Wilma. Thank you so much for the question, friend. But yes, rock your protective style. Like I said, I am a advocate for a protective style because I know a lot of my customers are busy. We're running around a lot, or we have children, grandchildren, we have jobs, and we have a whole host of other things. And it's not that we don't care about our hair. You know, the fact that we try to wear protective style means that we care about it. I just want to make sure that in that we are also doing the proper maintenance. Okay. Because you can wear a protective style, you know, frequently. You just need to have a solid maintenance routine. I never tell women, girl, you better stop wearing them wigs. You better stop wearing them, only if how they're wearing it is causing issues. Okay. There's a right way to do everything. What did somebody say? It's a right way to skin a cat or something like that. I don't know. But yes, there's a right and a wrong way to do everything. So you just have to make sure that, what I said. Just make sure that you have a proper routine or a proper maintenance routine. Okay. All right. I'm going to move on to the next question. Next question. What foods should I be eating for hair growth? This is a good one because everybody want to know the cheat code for hair growth. Remember I said your hair is always growing, but there are things that we can do to help facilitate healthy hair growth. Okay, so that we get the full length, or we get to retain the length. Sorry, and that hair doesn't snap and break within the growth phase. So always want to think your leafy greens, your healthy fats, your omega-3s, your protein, iron, and zinc. Those are the main ones. Of course, there are more, okay? But those are the main ones you want to think about. Leafy greens, your omega-3s, that's going to be your fatty fish, things like that. Flax seeds, I think pumpkin seeds. Then protein, of course, that's your chicken, turkey. If you are not a meat eater, then you can do black beans, I think, or any kind of beans if you eat beans. And then your iron and your zinc. Okay. Remember, your follicles are fed from within. Your follicles are fed from within. So you can use your growth oils. You can take your growth supplements, which I hate, but I know people take them anyway. But also make sure that there isn't a gap. Okay. You need to eat somewhat healthy food so there is not a gap. Okay. Like Kupti, hi sis. I'm I'm at the right place. Yes, welcome so much. If you welcome and thank you for so much for being here. If you we're doing a live Q&A, so if you have questions, if you have a hair health question, you can leave it in the chat. Okay. And I hope I pronounced your name wrong. Is it Kylie or Kaylee? I'm gonna say Kaylee. It's almost like my daughter's name, so I think I'm gonna say Kaylee because it almost looks like my daughter's name. Okay, but yes, foods that we should be eating for hair growth. Remember, your hair follicles are fed from the inside out, so you can't just do external things. You have to do some internal stuff as well, and then also hydration. Okay, hydration, hydration, hydration. Especially if you are someone that deals with hair that is extremely dry, which many of us do. Um, you want to make sure you hydrate and that you are drinking enough water. Okay. Sorry, let me turn my phone. I thought it was on silent, but it is not. Okay. So yes, foods you should be eating, definitely focus on your nutrition and also your hydration. Don't forget about the water. Okay. And then the exercise. We definitely want to exercise. I put exercise under nutrition because that is definitely important. Yes, and we're coming up on the summertime, Miss Wilma, and I know you drink a lot of water. So yes, definitely get that water in. I got water in my little knockoff Stanley cup. Trying to get somebody to give me a Stanley cup because I'm like, I just don't want to buy it. I want it to be a gift. I want somebody to gift me a Stanley cup. I mean, I could get one, but whew, girl. Okay. Um, I have ordered. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Trying to get the next question and then comment. I see your comment, Kylie or Kaylee. I just said your name the opposite way I said I was going to say foods and then stress. Okay. All right. So I see your comment. I just ordered Capiva. What does that say? Capiva hair care juice and castor oil from Amazon just now. Okay. Okay. Castor oil is a powerful tool when you use it consistently. Just remember, products help. Did you order the castor oil for growth? What is the castor oil for? You ordering it for your hair growth, for your scalp health, as part of your moisturizing routine? What is that for? And yes, we do have products on the website. Kaylee, I don't know where you are from, but I would invite you. I'm going to put it in the chat. I just showed the website a few seconds ago. But you can check out the website for hair and scalp products there as well. Everything is all natural, herbal, and handmade by me. Okay. Oh, you got it for scalp health. Okay. Yes. Great. You don't need to use a lot because with castor oil, sometimes it can uh, pile up on the scalp and kind of clog your follicles. So just make sure that when you use it consistently, but also, at least once a week you go in and you kind of cleanse your scalp. Now that doesn't mean you have to shampoo and use water. You can get a warm cloth. You can add some apple cider vinegar, lemon juice, or just plain water and use it to kind of wipe your scalp and to keep it clean. But yes, thank you so much for your comments and thank you for watching from India. India is in the building. Okay. But yes, if you have any specific questions, just let me know. Pop it in the chat and we'll see if we can help. Okay. All right. I'm going to put the next question in the chat. And it is, can stress really cause my hair to fall out? Most of us should know the answer to this question. 1000% yes. Yes, yes, yes. That is typically the most common cause. I'm not going to say the most common cause. I'm going to say that's one of the most sneaky causes of hair loss that we don't even think is possible. Okay. And it's all due to hormones. All right. Stress disrupts our hormones. I talked about this in yesterday's live. It can disrupt our blood flow. It can disrupt how our body gets nutrients delivered. Okay. Remember, your hair and scalp is the last system function of your body that gets nutrients. Everything else is prioritized to your major organs first. So if you're already nutrient deficient, your hair is not going to get the nutrients that it needs to grow. And then if you're under stress, your body requires more nutrients. Okay. And so it's going to definitely not prioritize anything to your hair or to your scalp. So just make sure that you understand that. The sneaky part about stress and hair loss is that sometimes we go through stressful events, but we don't see the results or the effects of the hair loss until 2 to 3 months after. Okay. So you have to also remember that it doesn't always happen at the time of the stress. I have several videos on this channel about stress and hair loss. And that's one of the things that people don't realize. You can deal with a stressful event in June and you may not see the effects of it until August. And then August, you're wondering like, why is my hair falling out? And what happens is stress pushes your hair into the shedding phase a lot sooner than it normally would during the hair growth cycle. Usually if you deal with the stress, the hair loss will eventually go away. Okay. But you have to deal with the stress. So that's why part of the 180 method, your mindset is part of your emotional wellness. That's one of the things that I teach and talk about because I understand stress, especially with women, especially with Black women. It's not just Black women, but being an African-American woman myself, I get that part of it. So that's not to say that other ethnicities don't deal with stress, but I know that that is an important issue in our community. Okay. And it oftentimes just goes unchecked because we are constantly like this. Go, 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 go. I don't have time to stop and be sad. I don't have time to stop and be depressed. I don't have time to go to a therapist. I don't have time. I got to do. Right. So yes, it can absolutely cause your hair to fall out. Let's see. I see there's some conversations going on in the chat. I'm just trying to keep up. Miss Wilma says, welcome, Kaylee from India. Do you like India? Girl, we ain't been to India. But we would like to visit, absolutely. Kaylee said, I'm sorry for not asking your name yet. What is your good name? Kendra. My name is Kendra. Yes. Wilma says, yes. Thank you, Miss Wilma. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with y'all chat. But yes, my name is Kendra. I am the founder of 180 Hair, creator of the 180 Method. I'm the one that you'll see most often on this channel, doing all kinds of educational videos that have to do with hair health. My approach to hair health is holistic, okay? Which means that we focus on your mindset, your habits, and your nutrition. And helping you manage your stress or understand how important stress is in your hair growth cycle is one of the things that I talk about. So yes, again, thank you so much for being here. She says, I'm in stress always. That's not good. That is not good. I mean, I get it, but what we need to do? What do we need to do to get out of the stress, ma'am? That's what I'm here for. So, I do offer a few one-on-one consultations. If you want to just do it via email, it's where you would send me the request, and then you would fill out a form. Based on that form, we would kind of look at some things that I would suggest you can start to do differently that would help you with your hair health. Because if you are under stress always, that castor oil that you just bought is only going to provide temporary relief, temporary solutions. Okay. It's good that you have that external help. The products are their external help, but you got to do some internal stuff as well. Okay. All right. Ms. Will would say, I'm still sitting in my car. The hustle is real. Girl, what? Tell me about it. I'm hustling now. That's why I said I went and grabbed me some lunch. I was like, oh, shoot, I got to jump on live. Came and did that. After this, I got to go to the post office. I got to ship some orders. I need to clean up. I need to do laundry. I'm like, when will I get to sit down? My back is hurting because I think I pulled something yesterday during my workout. So I didn't get to go to the gym this morning, which kind of stressed me out. So I get it. I get it. I get it. Okay. This is the next question. How long have we been on? 41 minutes. Okay. We need to get ready to start wrapping it up. Okay. Let me get this where it's in the screen. Oh, shoot. Where did it go? Ooh, child. Of course, it would stop working. Story of my life, guys. Story of my life. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Let me get the text box back up here. No, I just want to update it. Okay, so while I'm trying to figure that out, the next question that I have is, what are 3 daily habits I can do to support my hair? Oh, you say you can see it? My bad. For some reason, it wasn't. It won't let me change the size of it. I know that the size is not right. So let me do this. Let me do it this way. And then what happened? Okay, y'all. I think I'm gonna just forget about this because I'm wasting time. And I don't like y'all sitting here watching me trying to figure it out. Okay, so 3 daily habits we can do to 3 habits you can do, or 3 things you can do to start supporting your hair growth. The first thing, of course, is going to be hydration. I'm always going to say, how much water are you drinking? That was a question that I used to always ask women, and they thought I was crazy. Like, how much water do I drink? Why is she asking me that? Yes, because we don't realize that most of us are dehydrated and we don't even realize it. Like, we don't even know or understand how important water is, not just for our hair, but for all of the functions of our body. Like, we don't, not that we weren't told, but I think we know that drinking water is important. But for the sake of our hair health, okay, here we go. For the sake of our hair health, it is definitely very much so important. So that would be one thing that I would suggest. The next thing is scalp stimulation. So doing a scalp massage. Doing scalp massages are definitely going to be important. All right. We take that for granted. I think also using any type of stimulating essential oil is going to help. Okay, so like rosemary oil is good, tea tree oil, lavender oil is good because it's calming. I would definitely recommend that. And then making sure, number 3 would be making sure you protect your hair. Okay, so that means doing things like sleeping with a satin scarf, a satin bonnet, a pillowcase, things like that. Protecting your hair at night while you sleep, if you're out in the sun a lot, wearing a hat, things like that. So that would be my suggestion. Okay. Now notice none of my suggestions had anything to do with products, using a product, because that is not the most important thing. Remember that. Using a product is not the most important thing. The most important thing is always going to be the internal stuff. So drinking enough water, scalp massage, protecting your hair. I would say start there. Those things don't cost you anything. You can drink water for free, or you got to drink water anyway, right? You can do a scalp massage while you're watching TV, and you should be protecting your hair at night anyway. Okay? What else? Next question. Did I miss any questions? No. Thank you so much, Miss Wilma. I know you say you're sitting in your car. I got 2 more questions and then we're done. Unless you all have something, I'm just using these to pop questions in the chat. Okay. Next question. I'm over 40. Does age affect hair growth? Okay. I'm sorry. Miss Kaylee said it's 11:45 here. I have to go to sleep. Subscribe, done. See you later. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. And since you subscribe, you should also receive notifications for when I go live. I'll do these again next week. So be sure to check out my content on scalp health and stress. Okay, that is my homework assignment for you. Scalp health and stress. Make sure that you are getting that information. Okay. And have a good night. Thank you again for joining. So the question is, I'm over 40. Does age affect hair growth? Okay. And the answer is yes. It does affect hair growth, but it is not a death sentence. Age affects hair growth. Medication affects hair growth. Certain diseases affects hair growth. Certain treatment for certain diseases affect hair growth. Okay, but it is not a death sentence. You can usually restore your hair back to health by doing certain things and changing certain habits. Okay, the reason is because hormonal shifts. So of course, when we get older, hormones start to act a little crazy. The nutrient absorption changes. So how our body absorbs nutrients begins to change as we get older. And typically we just need a different strategy. Okay. We can't just walk around here doing things like we did in our 20s and 30s. We got to start switching things up. Okay. So it becomes less about products and more about our habits and the foods that we eat and things like that. Me having this conversation with a young lady in her 20s, it wouldn't even make sense. She would be like, mindset, habits, nutrition, what? Most of us that are, younger, or most women that are younger, 20s, early 30s, typically do not have these issues, okay, or do not need to focus in the same way that a woman, over 40 would. So yes, your age can definitely affect your hair health, your hair growth. All you need to do is know what to do. That's all. That's it. That's all. Just need to know what to do. Okay, so I'm going to put the last question in the chat and then we're going to wrap up for today. We've been on for almost an hour, 49 minutes. So the next question is, if I could start with one thing, where should I begin? So the first thing, like I mentioned, is definitely your water intake. Definitely look at your water intake. That's going to be important. You can pick one of these. Your water intake would definitely be top tier. but also having a clear goal. Okay. Hair growth is not a goal. I want you to understand that clearly. Hair growth is not a goal. Your hair is going to grow. All right. Your hair is growing constantly. Unless there is something like you have some type of alopecia, a certain type of alopecia, um, scarring alopecia, or something that has, or some type of autoimmune disease that causes your hair follicles to shrink and die, or something like that, your hair is growing. Okay. So you don't need to set that as a goal. We need to set a clear health goal or a clear hair goal. That would be the first thing I would suggest you do. Set a clear goal. If you are thinking that your hair isn't growing, it's probably just because you're not retaining length. So let's set a goal around that. Okay. So it'll either be setting a clear goal or making sure you increase your water intake. I know that for many of us, changing our diet and eating healthy and all of that is not something that we can run to the store and grab all the healthy stuff. I get it, but we should be able to drink water. If not, then, that's a different conversation. Okay. All right. And then the other part of this question is consistency. So wherever you decide to begin, you need to continue in that. Don't give up. Don't stop. Make it a habit. Make it I don't even think about doing it. It's just, I just do it. Okay. It's not even a question. All right. It's just something that I do without even realizing it. Okay. All right. So I think I answered, or I put up the top 10 questions that I get, plus a couple of comments from the chat. And I think we are good for the day. Again, if you are watching this video on the replay, please make sure to leave your questions in the comments and I will come back and answer them. Okay. I usually take about 24 hours if I see the question. I try to answer them as quickly as I can. Again, if you are watching this and you have not liked the video, please do so. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please also do that as well. I have pinned the 180hair.com website in the chat, in the comments. So if you are interested in any of the natural herbal products that I make, you can try those. Regardless of whatever product you decide to try or buy, remember that is not the only thing you should be doing in terms of your hair health. Okay. There are other things that you need to be aware of and possibly doing, especially if you are a woman over the age of 40. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, and I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. This is my third day doing the Lunch and Learn series, where I just pop on live and have a conversation around hair health or answer questions. So I'll try to do this again. I'll try to do this again next week. And if you are available, I would love to have you. And so that's it. Ms. Wilbur says that, let me get out of Walgreens parking lot. Yes, ma'am. Get out the parking lot. Now I can go and run the rest of my errands. I got to run to the post office and drop off some orders so that those that have ordered will get their stuff hopefully by Monday. All right. So again, thank you all so much for being here. You deserve hair that's healthy and growing, and it is my mission to help you get there. Thank you for tuning in today, and I will see you all in the next one.